Common application and techniques I will be showing you in this video. I will only take some primary colors, which will be red, yellow and blue color. You can take any color of your choice. Even in the future lessons, I have asked you, you don't need to copy exactly the same colors what I'm doing it. You can always choose your own color scheme and plan your own colors. So these are the three colors. I will be starting with a flat wash. Flat washes are used for developing a solid area of color. That means you can just simply take your gouache paint, add water, and here this is called just solid or flat wash. Flat wash where you can use any color of your choice and without water. If you want to show the transparent effect, then you will go with water. If you want to create the opaque effect, then you will go with the less water. The second technique I will show you is wet on wet. As the name called wet on wet, that means you need to wet the surface just with the clean water. Right now my brush is not properly clean, that's why you can see a shade of red, but just clean water, and I will add some paint on top of it. You can move your brush in a circular direction, you can move your brush in any direction. You can add few drops of water on top of it and let it dry on its own. Wet on wet surface should look shiny and glossy, and make sure that you are not adding lots of stroke into it. Let it dry on its own. Now flicking technique, which I will be using a lot in the face of our animals, especially in the lion and the wolf. So all you need to use the small brush, any tiniest brush you have, and then you will take the paint with a good consistency and just press the bristles and flick it up. Technique. Salt can be applied on wet surface. So you can add some water in the paint, apply the color, and just sprinkle any salt. If you have table salt or if you have pink salt, I'm using pink salt. Salt technique will apply for giving texture, and salt will absorb the color wherever you have added the salt and leave the areas white. It gives a very nice effect, especially for the backgrounds. Scratching or indenting technique, this is also used for giving some texture and effects of leaves or bushes or just the dry bushes or even the ripples in the water. So you can apply the paint. It should not be too wet, just a nice normal consistency. Don't wait for it to completely get dry, but yes, wait for this to dry. You can use the back side of your brush and you can apply and just press. I normally use this technique for giving some texture of the bushes. If you just want to give some texture of swirls or circles or ripples, you can try any direction. Glazing technique. Glazing technique is used where we apply the color, wait for the color to get dry. So here I'm taking the yellow color on top of it and applying some yellow color. And that's called glazing. And you can wait for the yellow to dry and then you can apply another color. So you can add more than 2-3 colors. Now let's talk about gradation. A gradation is a gradient can be created by transitions from one color to another color or form concentrated color to less concentrated color. So I will again go with some red, clean my brush, take some yellow, blend it between and take clean water just to blend, and that's it. Bring it to light. This can be done with 2 colors, or you can do it with 3 colors as well. Let me show you with the 3 colors. So here I will start with yellow color. will take blue. When you are doing the gradient technique, remember to mix the colors, only the one which will blend together and make the good colors, not the muddy colors. So I am going with red and yellow and blue. So it looks like a blended from red, orange, yellow, green, and then I will add more blue in this corner. So this is called gradient technique. This technique we will be using when we are adding lots of colors like pinks and blues in our gorilla or in our hair, or I think we will be using the same gradient technique in our portrait of the lion also. So better to practice with lots of colors. If you are absolute beginner, I would suggest you to practice for these steps again and again before you start with the lesson. We'll see you in the next lesson.